Please call out if you cannot hear, but they're saying no audio. They can see but not hear.
Can you hear now?
Yes, there is no game volume, that's correct. Well, there's no game music. Alright, they say fixed. Can you hear Pops?
Okay, guys, hey, welcome! PH...
We did it.
Okay, I have doubled audio. Let me intro him. So, alright, PH is going to do sections from leaving Thieves Town, where Coin stopped last time, and all of the movement, including the sword, half magic if you need it, grabbing the frog, all of that, going to Skull Woods, leaving Skull Woods, going to Zora's, and Ice Palace. This section will end with the defeat of Cold Stare. PH has a lot of experience teaching. He is part of both the randomizer and the NMG community, and he has a lot to offer. So thank you for doing this section for us, and go ahead.
All right, thank you so much. It's very, very overly kind, but you know, flattery will get you everywhere. But welcome everyone. Super excited to be doing the session today. As Pop said, we're going to start here with Skull Woods. So we have just beaten blind, and the first thing that we need to do is now we need to get ourselves some money and some better equipment, right? We've been on Master Sword here, but the big thing that you need to be aware of is that there are going to be a lot of places where we'll talk about kind of like primary strats and alternative strats. Also, there's a lot of great mentors in the chat as well. If they have thoughts, definitely listen to them. I will give my perspectives, but they are definitely not always correct. The big thing to start here is we're going to be doing the bombable hut. As you come out of Thieves Town, you're going to want to go down right so that you clear. You don't want to dash immediately right because you're going to bonk on this. So you're going to need to move a little bit down right, and you're going to be dashing down. There are kind of two main ways that I like to think about for getting this, because we have to bomb this door, right? And so I like to think of them, the fastest strat is going to be one where we are actually dropping the bomb equal to kind of, here, the bottom of this railing. And then the strat that I generally like to use, which is a bit slower, but is perfectly, it's fine, it's pretty fast. I want to say I think it's about like a half second slower, maybe a little less, is we drop the bomb next to this railing. And each of them kind of looks like this. I'm probably going to mess up the top one at least a couple of times, so just fair warning. Is we come out here, when you menu, you're going to menu left to get to the bombs. They talk about it a bit in FMG. You do want to be careful here if you are going to go for this strat, because you can cancel your dash one of two ways here, either with a down left or a down right. The problem with the down left is when you drop the bomb, you can sometimes accidentally slide into this corridor here, which messes everything up. And that gets very sketchy. You don't want to do that, right? So a lot of players will cancel. If they get used to it, you will cancel with the down left. You can also cancel with a down right here as you drop the bomb. But yes, that's true. Thank you, Algo. That's a very good point. Obviously, we are menuing to bombs. The default menu is left, but obviously you're going to have to adjust. It's 3 lefts if you have a... if you have either of the safeties in the upper right corner. That's an excellent point. Thank you. So you drop the bomb, and then you are going to walk down, throw it. And so, excuse me, see, I said I was going to... You do a slash to buffer so that you don't get hit by that dash. So let me try it again from the start here. Ah. See, this is not the strat that I normally do, largely because I will mess it up. Perfect. Anyway, it is fastest and it is a good strat, but it is, I think, a little bit sketchier. As you can see, like, you have to make sure you don't drop the bomb too high. You have to make sure that your drop is clean. Like, in my experience, it's a good strat, but it is okay to not go for it. What you can also do is pause and cancel down left against that wall, wait, and walk in. And it's about, I think, 20 frames. Either one is good-ish, right? Obviously, this is slower, but in my experience, it's a lot easier. In here, you're going to be grabbing the money. You can either jump off or go for the hero quick hop. If you are going for that, you're fine. Like, just walk down the stairs. And like, if you want to work with your mentor on it, it's great. It's fun to do. Everything I'm going to talk about here, there's lots of good reasons to go for it, and I think it's fun is maybe the best one, but I'm going to leave that up to you. As you come out of the bombable hut here, you're going to walk down to be even with these trees, right? So we want to come down, and then we're going to dash to the right. And you want to be even with the trees there because you can see that I am clear of this. And if you are too high, you will either nudge or, God forbid, bonk, right? So we want to dash across here, and then we're going to walk down. Ideally, you are trying to, and this is just a big general thing, right? You want to keep your movement as clean as you can. So we are canceling our dash with a straight down, and you want to try and keep yourself as close to that left edge of the trees as you can. We're going to be getting the frog here. There are two ways to get the frog. I'm going to talk about one. I am not going to talk about Top Rock. Talk to your doctor about Top Rock. And by doctor, I mean, if you really want to know, talk to your mentor. It is, what is this, like 15 frames better? It's very easy to mess up, and it's not that much faster. Again, very fun to go for if you want to, but you're going to walk down here, and the goal here is we're going to walk straight down and then dash to the left. As a reminder, ideally you have been working on dash turns because that is the fastest way to move, and so we're going to walk down, hit A, and dash. And we want to come and grab this rock and then talk to the frog. There are 3 text boxes. Make sure that you cancel with R and L. I'm actually going to go back here, and so you're going to, after you grab him, you're going to walk up, out, and then you want to be leaving this room kind of like on the right side here. So usually the kind of the movement you'll see a lot of players do is they'll do like an upright as they're walking out. One thing I actually did want to call out, because I forgot to mention it, if you, for whatever reason, miss this bomb, this bush has a 50-50 bomb. So if you miss it, you can go for it both entering and leaving. I did want to mention that before I forget. So if you're worried that you're missing a bomb there, this is a good opportunity to go for grabbing another one. So we're going to come out here, and then we dash up. I like to menu to the mirror at this point. You don't have to. We do need to get to the mirror at some point. I like menuing here to kind of like line up my dash. You can also just dash up and then dash right. On this screen, we are mirroring immediately. FMG talks about moving up and then dashing to the right. That does keep you on the grid. So obviously for those who are still newer to the game, as a reminder, the way that this game works is all of the tiles are on specific, that everything is gridded, right? And so there are these kind of like 4 pixel wide chunks. And so the nice thing is that if you move directly up from when you enter the screen and mirror immediately, you will be lined up in such a way that you have potentially an easier time of entering the stairs cleanly. These are pretty minor adjustments, and if you go for that and you accidentally instead like grab the wall here or like mess up your dash for whatever reason, it will cost you more time than it saves. So it is totally fine in many of these instances after you mirror to use just use an upright movement and then walk up, because often the nudging there, as long as your dashes are clean, the nudges there will be relatively small, and if your dash isn't clean and if you miss it anyway, it doesn't really matter if you're on the grid. So we're going to go up. So this is definitely don't try and dash here. I cannot tell you how many times I've walked into this room and started to push A, and then you go 2 frames up, and then, or whatever it is, and then you drop off the Smith. So just walking in, walking out, walking back in. When we dash to talk to the Smith, you want to try, so you can see I was kind of like mashing A as I got close. so you won't bonk on the smith. So you can dash all the way to him, but you can see that I'm actually not all the way up to the smith. You can talk to him from further away, which is better because you don't have to go as high and you are lower when you leave. So that's just, it's like not a big thing. Always, you know, so it's going to be 3 text boxes and then cancel the last one as always. Cancel this last text box with the exclamation point with R and L, right? And then we can dash out. The most visited screen in the game. That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe Pod Lobby. I don't know. Oh, thank you for the raid, ZSR. So, now that we have dropped off our sword, right, we are going to just need to leave and re-enter the screen. So, technically the fastest thing to do is if you immediately dash from here. So this is, again, one of those things where it is faster. You want to be very careful. Make sure you practice this because the problem you have is what you don't want to do is go too low and accidentally go into your portal. Especially if you are higher on this screen when you mirror, then you don't have that much clearance, right? Like you can see I have like a fair amount of room here. My portal is kind of low. Walking is fine. It's not really, it's slower, but again, it's not significantly slower. Accidentally entering your portal there is a lot worse because then you have to mirror again. So what you want to make sure you do is here is you are going to come down and we want to dash. So again, like dash turning is good if you can. We want to dash out of this screen and then we're just re-entering and we're going right back into the smiths. Same thing where we're going to go up and talk to them. Yes, nudging the fence absolutely works. One thing that you can try and do, which I'll talk about here in a sec, is, so this screen it's pretty straightforward. We're just going to go up and talk to the smith and get our sword. One thing you can do is you can cancel your dash down with a down left as well, which gives you, because if you just cancel it with a left, canceling with a down left means you can kind of cancel a bit earlier and then move into position for that left dash. But again, the reality is getting the dash down versus walking is pretty minimal. The reason why we are okay with dashing, you move the same speed on the stairs, whether you're dashing or not, right? And the problem is you have that dash charge. So the benefit you gain from dashing is the fact that you move faster on these tiles here and then on these tiles here. And it does add up to more. It does add up to enough movement that it's faster than the cost of the dash charge, but it's by a pretty small amount. So walking is okay. Similarly, so this is again another thing. I'm going to say, and this is going to be true of a lot of stuff in this split. You will have 2 options here. One is it is totally fine to walk from here. Now we do want to go back into the portal. So as soon as you leave this room, dash down and then dash into your portal. So here you dash here, dash into the portal. This is very close to as fast as the optimal strat. The optimal strat is like, I think it loses like, that loses like single digit frames. The optimal strat here is you're going to walk to the top of the stairs, slash, and then do a spin speed. So that spin speed is good. It is faster. But the big thing to keep in mind about the spin speeds is if you miss, it's a big time cost, right? So you have to make sure that if you're going for it, your hit rate is pretty high. Yeah, it's like Shauna said, it's very small. So that dash down, dash left is totally fine, and it doesn't require the spin speed. If you do want to go for it, make sure also that you don't slash too early, because you lose most of the benefit that you would get if you, because I will see newer players will they'll come out and they'll slash here, and then they'll walk down like with their sword out. Moving with your sword out is slower, right? So a lot, again, with it being so close, sword out movement here basically eats up all of the gain that you would get over just dashing down and dashing into your portal. So either way that you choose to leave, you are now back in the portal, and you have the opportunity now to go for the most important trick in the game, which is the fence dash. It is not actually the most important trick, but it also is the most important trick because memes, right? So the idea behind fence dash is you want to move one frame to the left and then dash turn up. And you will get a dash like that. What you will often see players do is they will, if you've ever played glitched modes in rando or RMG or anything, you will see players will change their grip often, right? So you will see, like if you're doing, for example, dash buffers, people will have one finger on the directional pad and one finger on the A button. And that is to be able to hit the two at basically the same time. And you will see, for example, Eri has a number of his VODs, Error, where he has a hand cam, and you will actually see him switch his grip on this screen, and he will hit it like, he will do this. And, except for he will actually change direction because he's not holding his controller the wrong way. But the idea is you can use that as a way to like set up the dash where you have a chance to like get that quick press into the dash, and so you do that, then you have to dash turn up. If you don't do it, so memes off, it's fine not to go for it. The gain there, again, it's not that large. It is totally okay to walk up above the sign here and just dash up. It is not that much slower, and then we're dashing left and into here. In this screen, it is either walk, so you should either be doing dashing like I'm doing, just those two, or you walk just the whole room. Do not dash left, do not dash right. However, if you do choose to dash out, highly acceptable. That is the muffins dash. Also very important. But if you are really pressing for a PB, you can skip the muffins dash, and I will die a little inside. But other than that, it's fine. No, point being, what you really don't want to do is you don't want to do those left or right dashes in that screen. Those are where you are losing time. Dashing up and down is fine as long as your dashes are clean. Walking in that screen is good. Like, if you're not confident in those dashes, just walk. It's totally fine. We are 100% polluting the new runners. That is actually the only reason that I am in the mentor program, is to pollute every possible new runner. So we leave here. We're going to just dash through these. Thank you. Love that skull bush. Dash through those bushes, dash up. This is not a dash, just walk. And you want to line yourself up with the path here and dash up and out. In here, we are going to walk up and to the right. So this screen, you really are only paying attention to this left moblin there. You see the guy on the left? There is a movement that you are supposed to do, and there's one RNG where you need to adjust. So the movement that you're supposed to do is walk here and dash up like that. And you can see I beat the spear when I did that. Like I just walked up and right and I dashed, and as long as your movement is clean, which is important, you walk over here to the right, dash turn up, and you will beat the spear, except on that RNG. So you want to watch for him to, if he stops at, so that one's fine. So the thing you need to watch for is basically, does he walk to the right and then stop to throw his spear like on like this like brown patch of dirt? If he does, the dash won't work. Yes, the skull sucks. You can't do anything about it. If he does that, what you want to do instead is this movement, where you walk up over here, up a little higher, and then dash. And that moving up a little bit will give the spear time to get past you. So if you aren't confident, you can also, I pushed away. Okay, great. We're killing it. Welcome to my Let's Play. When we're down here, it is totally fine to kind of like do that walking up a little bit higher and just watch for the spear to go by. That is not that much worse, and it will give you a much higher confidence in that dash up. So that's fine. But if you really want to learn the fastest, it's basically you're watching for, specifically he moves to the right to that brown patch of grass, brown patch of dirt, I guess, and throws his spear. Everything else, you can just immediately walk to the dash line and dash out. Yeah, it runs over, exactly. So here, we're dashing up through this popo. We're walking left here. You want to line yourself up. And this is one of my favorite dashes in the game, is we're going to dash up and cancel with up. So, oh, shoot. Let me out. When we do this screen, because you have pit state, you actually don't need to cancel. You can cancel pushing in the direction. So you can see I pushed up and I canceled my dash. You do not need to push a diagonal or a directional. Like up will cancel your dash. So it's nice for a couple of reasons. One, it's faster. You don't need to push another direction. Like I see some people will go up and then they'll cancel down and dash left, but you don't need to do that. The other reason why it's good is if you push up and you've canceled your dash too early, obviously dashing left here is really bad. So canceling up, if you cancel too early, just walk up to the top line of bushes and then dash out. We're going to dash around and we're going to enter the dreaded mummy room, right? So the big thing about this room is, A, it takes a lot of practice. Like that was a pretty big nudge, but otherwise went pretty well. So I'm going to talk about this a bit. But the biggest thing is, yes, so as Pops is saying, one of the things you need to be aware of for this room is, sure, you know what, we'll use that as the way back. Thank you. So the first thing, you can see I actually missed that blueberry this time. That's fine. Don't chase it. That's a mistake that I do see sometimes, is people will like chase it to try and slash it again. You don't need to do that. What you want to do is if you miss it, well, hello. You grab this, you grab the pot, and you're going to walk out and throw it to the right, and you will hit the berry. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. Like this. That is what you're doing if he moves to the right. So you have a couple options if you don't think that you're going to beat the mummies. The problem is slashing the mummies is really tricky. The hitboxes are really awkward, especially when you're up against the statue. Your sword beams will be like potentially, if you haven't taken any damage yet, can mess stuff up. It's okay to just try and go through and deboost. If you are able to beat them, this room gets much better. So what you want to be doing here, so sometimes you'll get like good RNG like that. That might be too far to the left. No, it's fine. Okay. If you can't beat them, right, you can, jeez. If you can't beat them, you can always slash them. So that's Stuck Mummy. Stuck Mummy is our favorite. So a couple things to note is that you can see that when I'm pushing the statue, I am wiggling Link up and down. Obviously, we've talked about this in other dungeons like Pod. It is incredibly important that you do that because your movement speed is so much higher when you wiggle while you're pushing a statue. That is part of the reason that pushing is a lot better than pulling, is you cannot do that when you're pulling. And so you can bail and try and pull the statue into position, but if you do that, it will be a lot slower. Yes, also, if you are really struggling, especially as a newer player, using Ether in this room, Pops makes a great point, is fine. This room is scary, and Skull, the moth fight, is a pretty tricky one if you aren't really sure what to do. So the challenge obviously is going to be, how do I handle it? If you're not confident, Ether is okay, because we are often going to be intentionally taking some damage, and if you're not comfortable on the moth fight, avoiding potentially taking like 4 hearts in here, which can happen very easily if the room goes sideways, is awkward, right? So yes, this is like probably one of the rooms that I would spend the most time in practicing, because it really does matter. So the big thing about this statue, one of the things I see that's one of the more common errors people make is they push it down way too far. So like they'll do this, they'll get here, and then they'll pull it like all the way down there. And it's like, you do not like, so you can see how you can actually, the statue can actually be, get out of here. No, we're gonna, there we go. Let's just do this for now. You can actually walk above it when it is... Get out of here. So you can see I'm above the block. The statue is above the block right now, and I can still actually walk above it. There is more clearance than you realize. Yes, that's also... So blue is right. If you are... if you take a bunch of damage, like, for example, let's say you're on, like, just a couple hearts, after you get, like, the fire rod is a good place to do it. Coming back in here at the start of the back. Like, there's plenty of places where it's not that bad. Like, especially if you are not, again, if you're not confident in, like, a boss fight, taking a death warp which loses, let's say, 10-ish seconds, 12 seconds, is much less bad than dying, and it's also, I think, a lot more less emotionally draining. But yes, Sean raises a good point there as well. You have to obviously go get ether. I think for a lot of players, if you are getting powder, I think you can also choose to go get ether at that time. If you are not getting powder, you probably don't have ether in here, but that is also, like, just going to be different based on time. This is just one of the toughest rooms. You will probably, like, I'll see, you know, literally 123 players will sometimes have an issue in this room. It's just really hard. So, you know, the big thing is, again, don't push the statue down too far, because you're moving down way more while you're moving slower. You give the mummies a lot more time to get in your way, and then you also have to pull this up way further, which again gives them time to get in your way. It gives, if you're slow with your movement, the hand will get you. So you really want to be, like, quick on the movement here. Yeah, to, like, we really want to make sure we're coming in here, you know, kill that guy. Just pull it down for, like, a bare short of a second. Wiggle as you push it to the left, and then pull it up. And the last thing is, you can see that your Q is the notch. You can see that it is even with the notch on the railing. That's all you have to pull it up before you need to leave. Right? You can also see I'm grabbing the statue on the right-hand side there. So, like, that is an RNG where you kind of do need to pull a little bit because he got stuck on the statue. So in this room, if the mummy is blocking you, you're going to need to dash like I did. Like you saw, that was actually very convenient. So, like, if he's in your way there, like, you do a dash there to knock him out of the way. Otherwise, the movement in this room is fairly straightforward. So I'm going to do this one time from the start here. Right, so we do here. Pull it up until it's even with the bottom of that railing. Get in this room. So this is actually wrong, but it's because the the red stuff was in the way instead. But normally what you are trying to do is, what you will want to do is you get into this room. Come on. And you are going to go around to the right. So it's going to look like this. Like so. And then you come down here, grab the key, and mirror. I went to the left because I panicked. It happens. It happens. But anyway. So once you get it, you're mirroring, and we are leaving. Now, quick pause here. If you are not comfortable with bomb jumps, you can dash here and get 1.0. Great. This is how you handle the... so you go here. Don't die. And then you can walk around here, down, pull this, and this is how you get the fire rod from this side. Okay? Do the enemy positions in that room depend on your behavior in the previous room? I think it is a little bit time dependent, but the mummies are, because the other room, the mummy is moving, so it does depend on where you spend time in the room. That top Gibdo does move the way that, like, he is chasing you, but I think it's still because obviously how much they move is still random. So, yes, the TR fairy is gone forever. Cry. There is a bunny bee. Yes, thank you. If you have powder, thank you, coin. Excellent point. Under the pot above the big key chest, there is a fairy. If you have powder, that is another option instead of death warping. If you have powder and you are low on health. So you can see this is how you would get the fire rod if you don't know. So again, you fall down in that upper right, bomb the wall. If you're going to do that, by the way, I would also probably recommend, depending on your bomb route, but if you don't have extra bombs, there's a bomb there and a bomb there. And so if you're using one here, you may want to grab one of these. Probably, actually, if I'm thinking about this, I think the upper left one is probably good. Let's see, because you fall. Yeah, so I would just grab that as you're leaving, right? And then you can, then it gives you, it's a bomb for a bomb, and then you go through. Just literally just after you enter this, you can just hold down, and you just walk. You're fine. You won't fall in the pit. So just hold down, and then walk left, up, hold the thing, right? Grab your fire rod, and then you can still, if you are up against the edge here, you can still bonk out. So you can see that you can still make your way out. You don't have to like go up and around. You can bonk on the edge. Yes, you cannot mirror. If you do this, you have to bonk to get out, right? Anyway, so if you are not doing that, if you are doing the bomb jump, so really quickly, obviously you're gonna like be dashing around. You're going to dash to the right here, dash down and up. That's the movement you want to get here. You will be on the mirror when you enter this room. When you enter this room, so there are three primary bomb options here. You've noticed there's always options. I am not going to talk about EBJ. If you are doing early bomb jump, you are fast enough to know to ask your mentor and work on it with them directly. We're going to talk about either the spin setup bomb jump and the bonk setup bomb jump, right? For those of you who remember the Hera tutorial, it's very similar, right? One of the big things, and it is a time save, is placing the bomb when you face up instead of down. Excuse me, because I do see that often is players placing the bomb, like they will do this, they will, even if they know the spin setup, they will do that and then place the bomb. The thing is, the later you place the bomb, that is what defines how long the room will take, right? Because you're not going anywhere until the bomb explodes. So the sooner you place the bomb, the faster the whole room goes. And so if you are going to do that, generally what you want to do, so I like to use the menu here again, is get up next to the rail like that, menu, and menu to the bomb, drop the bomb, and then you do the spin setup. And you will get screwed by the Moldorm because the game hates you. That is going to be generally the fastest way to do the spin speed setup. You need to be careful a little bit, obviously, like you want to do it right. This will take practice, but it has enough time. You have enough time to drop the bomb, then slash your sword, and still get the spin setup. Like you don't need to slash your sword early, although you can if you want to give yourself a little bit more time. That's fine. Like as you're practicing, like it's not bad, right? So if you're here, it's fine to slash your sword and then drop the bomb. It just gives you more of a chance to get the spin and do the spin setup. But if you are, I definitely see, I'll see a lot of players who like do this and then drop the bomb who are pretty comfortable with the spin. It's like just, you should really be dropping it earlier. All right, I'll be watching. So that is the general, and as a reminder, right, we've gone over it before, but as a reminder, the spin setup, the general gist is you are trying to have a spin charged, start falling, release your spin and hold down, right? As you are coming off the and like you use the spin to buffer coming back off the fall, and then as you let go of your spin, it allows you to like basically stop moving away from the pit, right? And so when you're facing up, it's the exact same thing. It's I'm facing up, I move up until I would be falling, and then as I start falling, I release the spin, and then right? And then I push down, and we back out, right? Or, sorry, push down and then release the spin. So, that's the spin setup. If you need to do it the other way, it's fine. Like, again, get this right. This is still much faster than going around. If your options are go all the way around or do like a slow bomb jump, the bomb jump is still dramatically faster than going around. But the other option, right, is the bonk setup. So again, similarly, I would highly encourage this. I've seen a couple people who have just like learned lineups. Like they just like do this until Link like looks like he's in the right spot. Like this will work, right? Because you can see where like I've always used Link's chin as like a proxy. Give the bonk, if you're doing that, give the bonk setup a try. It's going to almost certainly be faster, and it's still good, and it will probably save you time. Yeah, sure. Okay, we're not talking about hovering. That's right. There is actually 4 options. Great, perfect. We're going to drop the bomb, and then what you want to do is walk up and to the right. So I've forgotten the timing, but the idea here is you drop the bomb against this railing. You're going to walk up and to the right. The bonk setup expands the window from 2 pixels to 6, where the bomb jump works. So the idea here is if you drop this bomb and then you walk up and to the right and don't fall in the pit because, you know, you're more used to it than I am, right? You can bonk, and so you need to dash turn. That's one of the biggest things, right? Is after you drop that bomb and you walk up and to the left, you will need to start your dash and then turn, because what you don't want to do is try and face left. You will grab the wall. It will not work, right? So you need to come up here, drop the bomb, up and to the left, and then dash turn. I've seen people use other buffers. Like this is something where you will, I used to do the bonk setup. I just kind of had a timing. I've seen people use slashes. I think it's 2. Is that right? No, not enough. Perfect. Yeah. See, this is when you stop doing it, it just becomes impossible. Yeah, I think maybe it's more than that. Then there was some like slash buffer that I saw that someone was doing. There's 4. That worked. So you could try 4 slashes. Yes, towards the wall. Did I say the other way? My bad. Thank you. But point being that you want to start your bonk right before you want to start your dash right before the bomb starts flashing. You will bonk. You will then get knocked over. At this point, again, you can either menu to mirror, or you can walk out and bonk. Both are fine. I would probably, if you're going to if you're not going to fall into the pit and deboost out, just bonk. I think it's actually faster because it saves 2 menus here. I guess it only saves 1. I still think it's a little quicker. But what you want to do is bonk and walk out. Or, right, you can fall in the pit. The advantage of falling in the pit is we will have iframes when we leave, which actually matters on the next screen, which we'll see here in a sec. So I'm going to fall here, I'm going to walk out, and I'm just going to hold right and walk right through that ropa. You can see how long I have the iframes for. I see a lot of players slash that ropa even after they've learned to take the damage boost and fall. Don't. Just walk right through it. You will be you have a ton of time where you're invulnerable after you fall. So if you bonk or mirror, you will need to slash, is the difference. So we're going out, we're going around. That's Stacy. Goodbye, Stacy. So we're just going to walk through here. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on these two rooms. You're just going to walk out. You're going to dash to the left. In this room, do not push left before you dash. You want to neutral dash. Neutral dash means I'm dashing without moving. I'm just immediately dashing. And the reason is, this gets back to that grid stuff. You will have, not Gridisham, just the grid, but also high grid. You will have the opportunity to do a clean cancel, and you will have a better chance of doing it if you don't move before your dash, right? So if I just dash, yeah, and Sean's right? If you're on like if you're on like 1 or 1.5 hearts, it's totally fine to death warp there. Like, that is a good spot to death warp. So here, if I'm going to dash and then pause as I get close to the wall. And the idea is, as long as I am clear of the spike when I pause, so use your pause buffer to see where you are. As long as I'm clear of the spike when I pause, I can menu the fire rod, I can walk up, and I can grab that key. Don't do the dash down unless you miss. So if you have bad movement or like you miss the pot pickup, dashing is okay, because at that point you risk having the beetle get in your way, and then it can get really awkward because you need to slash it, but oh shoot, you slash it and you recoil up into the wall master, and then everything goes sideways, right? So if you miss the pot pickup, it is okay to dash. Otherwise, you want to just walk up, pick up the pot, walk down, and then diagonal out, just like that. When you leave here, just dash, turn to the left, and dash through that ropa. It's going to be faster than slashing it. Dash up. So there's a couple different ways. You can fire rod this from the left like that, which is technically faster. Like if you can get a clean dash up here, and then do that fire rod to the left and then walk in. It is also totally fine. What I prefer is just get a little bit upright movement and fire rod. But the big thing is you want to do it from a little bit too low. This should be good, right? Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to walk out here so that we can... So obviously you would normally need to get that key. So dash through this guy, dash up. We should be on the fire rod here. As you can see that I moved up and to the right a bit, fire rodded up and to the right a little more, and I started a dash. And what happens is that means your dash is charging for part of the time period while some of the fire rod animation is going and stuff, and then you dash into the entrance here. Yeah, I mean, again, there's a wide range of players, so there are some who probably want to try and mess around with the left side, which is great. Front is good. It is totally fine. In this hallway, you are going to want to move up out of the door. You need to go at least 1 pixel to the left to nudge along that block. Oh yeah, I forgot I didn't pick up the key. You need to nudge along this block. There are basically 3 things that you need to be watching for on the on that fire snake, right? So it's going to do one of 3 things. Either 1, it's going to block you like that. So if it comes left and then down, what you want to do is actually dash up, cancel to avoid it by going under the block, and then move back after it passes you so you can nudge along the block and go through. So the nudging along the block gives you a free key dash. So it's actually good. That's why we would wait. In the second case, so let's see. So, right, I didn't cancel my dash, but you can see I went, all right, that's fine. If it moves up, just let your dash go. You're fine. If it's going up, you're good. The other possibility is it moves up, it moves left and then up, so it blocks you. Oh, I need some help here, buddy. Come on. Nope. Nope. Can we get the bad RNG? Nope. There we go. So if it does that, you can't really do anything. You just follow it up and then wait until it gets out of your way. There's nothing you can do, right? Just da-da-da. You have to just wait until it leaves, right? In this room, picking up left pot or right pot, they're pretty close, right? If you're picking up, the main point is pick up the pot, throw it to get to stop holding the pot, and then you want to right, diagonal across here to avoid hitting the stars. If for some reason you are nervous about health, there are a couple of hearts in this room. One here. There's a magic up here. Thank you. And then one here. And there is another magic here. This will mostly be relevant if you die and you are low on magic and you need more magic, like coming back through. You can get those 2 magic pots. But... Okay. So, the Mummy Hellway. One thing I will also add, this is a little bit of a weird thing. Do not... I shouldn't say do not, but it is kind of awkward to use this save state. Because, for whatever reason, the timing on the Wallmaster is wrong. It is not what you will get in a normal run. If your movement in the beginning of the dungeon is right. So, I highly, highly, highly recommend make a new save state where you start from the entrance, go through... right? And then make a save state here. So, the strat that I strongly recommend people learn is what I just did, which is known as Joe Mummies. It is very good. It is very fast, and it is not too bad. So you walk in, fire rod twice, dash up along this wall. You're going to fire rod that mummy, pick up the pot, fire rod right, fire rod left, dash up, fire rod the top, and dash out. Yep, perfect. Right, right. It is okay to walk like this. This strat... Oops, I missed. Like that strat, you can see is almost as fast as the dash strat. It is totally fine. So if you like, again, if you like that, it's 1, 2. Get screwed, right? You need to wait until he moves down. Fire rod him. Pick up the pot, throw it at the mummy who's coming down, and then dash out. The fastest strat in this room is Cypher Mummies, at which I'm going to try and do once or twice, screw up, and then we will not talk about it. Dude, really? It looks something like that. And you can see it is quicker, right? Even though that was a very, very, very rough version of it, and it was still faster. But, yes. Thank you. So, I would just watch I think Joe Mumway, I think Joe Mummies is very good. It is safe. It is fast. It is not that hard to learn. Also, it does teach good habits. One of the biggest things in this room, if you are doing that strat, is learning how to deal with, like getting the pot. So, because you saw that this second mummy moved up. If your movement is clean in that room, you will still beat it with your fire rod shot to the left. If your movement is not clean, it will get hit and you will have to use an extra shot. So it's one of those things where it gives you good feedback on, am I keeping my movement in here clean? Am I doing good dash turns? Am I moving too high? Like, you can see how low. This is another thing that I actually see a lot of, is when you are fire rodding the, I'm just gonna figure this out. You do not need to be, you only need to be just above that, like this red carpet, in order to fire rod the torch on the right. And I'll see a lot of people will like pick up the pot, they'll go way up here to throw that, and then they'll go way back down. That's a lot of extra movement that you don't need to do. So it's one of those things where, again, it's not actually that much slower in micro, but if you do that in every screen, you lose a lot of time. And in macro, it's less safe, which is actually the bigger problem, is that fast is safe, right? Yes, exactly. Thank you, Sean. All right. See Olive. So we're going to go through here. Like, you can see how little movement I do up to throw the pot, and then how quickly I am. Okay. So in this room, it's a little bit awkward. I also have like a weird save state now. That Moldorm can give you a lot of different RNGs. The big one is if he's coming at you, you just turn up and slash him. And if he moves up, you just immediately start going up left. Like my timing's off because I did the weird save state here. If he moves up like that, you're going to want to go diagonal and then slash him if he gets in your way. So basically, if you're doing the Joe mummies, you generally will want to turn up. Like, you'll want to enter the room and then turn up first. Some people will do this like double, or like this dash, and then walk up like that. In my experience, that's actually okay. I've seen it work pretty well. I just don't know enough about it to say whether, like, what the failure states are. But if you do that already, that's fine. So in this room, a lot of people use fire rod shots here. I used to. It's kind of bad. So the problem is because you even saw that. Like, the Moldorm can, like, I like to, this is the, also you can see, like, it's slow waiting for the key. But that's, for those of you who are old heads like me, that's Kevin Costner. That's the bodyguard, right? So you do not want to let that Moldorm mess up your day. So we want to do this slash strat. It is much better if we can. The way in which you do this, there is a very good movement cue. And it is walk out of this door and walk to the left. And so you can see that, like, I literally just had Link. It's like you just need to fully clear the door, right? So like Link, I am just in the middle of the tile to the left of the door, right? So I am just holding left and then dashing up like that. And all you need to make sure of, so it's a very popular spot to menu to mirror is in this room. If you want to have fire rod shots for the moth fight, you can't do that. If you are worried about accidentally mirroring, you can't do that. But if that's not an issue, walk here and you can menu to mirror, and it gives you the chance to make sure that your lineup is good. Because what you want to be is you want to be above the mummy slightly and slash him to the right, so you slash him into the spike. It takes practice. If you are too low, you will slash the mummy into the corner, right? And that sucks. So you really don't want to be too low. If you are too high, you will... I still got him eventually, but like you can see, like you can be too high. So perfect. I was kind of hoping that I would screw that up that way. That is the one other potential failure state for this room. If you do that dash, is if the Moldorm comes in your way and you kill it with your dash. Remember, there is a very short window after you cancel your dash where you cannot slash your sword. So you have to make sure if you dash through the Moldorm that you are a little patient before you slash the mummy. It's not super tight, so you should be fine. You should have plenty of time, right? But yeah, I strongly recommend, like, here, left, dash, menu to mirror. I don't know why I'm not going up left. There we go. And like you can use that to check your positioning. Wasted. There is a small optimization with dashing after, like, as the key is in play. I'm not even gonna get into it. So in this room, just walk around, right? As long as your movement's been clean, you can just walk around and fall down. And now we get to everybody's favorite boss, Moth. The single most important thing about Moth is get good RNG. But it's really easy when that happens. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yes, that's right. They'll walk, push up, and then dash. So that's fair. I like the dash turn because I kind of pay attention to just my left movement, but coin raise is a good point. Yeah, so I'm just gonna copy this and splice it into all of my runs going forward. Thank you. 10:30, Jesus. But yeah, so falling, ideally you want to walk so that you're not falling from the edge is the bigger thing. So where falling into the pit is a problem, like it is, like you can see, like there, like here, like that's a cardinal, but like if I'm lower, like you can see, like you're going to go into the pit a little bit slower, but like the distinction is you're not moving as far. It's, I think, generally okay either way. Probably, like, I usually do cardinals because that's like my movement. Yes, I will not. But the thing to know about Moth, this is where I want to make sure to spend a little bit of time, right? Is one, really practice the double hit. So this is where, so the Prac Hack has in the HUD, one of the options is the boss health. This fight is, in my opinion, one of the single most useful places to use this sentry, because it's really hard to tell whether or not you hit Moth, except for, so you can see that that heart with the 20 next to it. So if you hit Moth once, it will go to 18. If you hit Moth twice, it will go to 10. So it is very, very, very clear whether or not you successfully got the hits off. I found this to be incredibly valuable when I was practicing this fight. We're gonna talk about a couple of things here. I want to fall in again. Like I do walk down further in Cardinal. So the biggest thing is getting the double hit. You're going to go to that block in the middle up at the top, slash your sword, and line up. Your goal is you want to get a double dash poke. There are 4 RNGs, right? If the conveyor is moving left or right, your goal is basically to get a dash off where when Moth's antenna are even with the bottom of that block, you start your dash. I'm also going to add, because I do this on behalf of Can, Moth is a she, so I'm going to say it's her, because apparently there's like a guidebook that lists Moth as a, and so Can has always been like very, hey, no, but anyway, so when she is moving up, you want, and so you can see like your goal is to try and keep your movement so that the tip of your sword is even with the bottom of that block, and the Moth's antenna are even with the bottom of that block when you start your dash. When the conveyor is moving up or down, you will mostly just get kind of like lined up and then dash and bonk. You can bonk on all 4 conveyor directions. In my experience, if it's moving left or right, it's a lot trickier. If it's moving up or down, just line yourself up with the middle of the block and then bonk. And it is totally fine. When you are in a tougher position, right? Like the problem is going to be like, so, you know, we're just going to kill you for a second, then talk for 2 more seconds. Thank you. So you want to get the tip of your sword lined up there, and you can see, like, when the conveyor is moving up or down, you can just dash and bonk. So as long as you get the timing right, it will be pretty straightforward. When the conveyor is moving left or right, you will have to manage your movement opposite it so that you stay lined up with this block, and then start your dash and hold down. Yes, spaces, it is down. I was wrong. I was saying up with working with someone previously, and Space was like, I think it's down. I was like, no, I think it's up, because for whatever reason I'd been doing up and it was working for God knows what reason. Point being, if you hold down so you can see, like, if I'm holding down, I basically immediately cancel my dash. So you can see that, like, because I'm holding down here, I don't actually dash. It just stops the dash. So you get the dash poke off, and then you don't actually dash. And the reason why that matters is if it's moving left or right, you can dash into the spikes. If you learn the setup, you can just dash into the block. If that's what you've done and you've learned it, that's great. In my experience, it's easier to just focus on stay in the middle. And if it's moving left or right, when I start my dash, just hold the down arrow, and I will get and that gives you the chance to get the double hit. That is, in my opinion, this fight gets 10,000 times less scary if you get that hit off correctly, because you're just so much closer to the end. Usually the 3rd hit is not too bad, so at that point you just got to get your way to 1 more. The big thing, obviously, as everyone should know, is if you hit Moth into the spikes, she does not take damage. Also, do not spin. Spins do no damage. So you should be slashing. Or if you are more advanced, you can go for a dash poke. I am not going to talk about that very much, except for to say, if you are really trying to bring your times down on the Moth fight, and the conveyor is not moving down, even when Moth is up at the top, you can hit Moth with a dash poke, and it will count. It overrides the spike damage, like the spike damage removal. But that is, you have to be really confident in lining up and getting your dash off. It's easiest when the conveyor is moving up. It's doable when the conveyor is moving left or right. But last thing is the biggest thing to focus on in this fight generally is if Moth is close to the spikes here, don't panic. Do not panic. So I'm gonna go back to Bitey used to talk to me about this when he was doing my my second big PB review, because I had a terrible Moth fight, and the reason why is I would get here and I was just slashing immediately, or slashing this way or whatever. You are only going to get damage from Moth if you either hit her into these blocks or you hit her into the middle of the room. Most of the time, it will be better if Moth is standing, let's say right here, walking below to the right and then slashing up is better than trying to slash quickly from below. If you are on low health, it is okay to slash Moth to prevent the beam shot. So the one thing I will say is I'm just going to let the fight start here, right? We'll just, so Moth, you can see I'm slashing there. And I don't actually care even if I did end up getting damage on all those cases, right? But you can also just try to slash as a measure of control, right? But you can see you really want to try and slash Moth onto the blocks or into the middle of the room. That is how you will get damage. If you have the fire rod, it is fine to use fire rod shots. It slows the fight down a little bit, but especially if you're low health, right? It's not a bad strat, right? It's a good way also if you are if Moth is up at the top of the screen and you want to try and get her off the top of the screen, it can be a good way to do that. So please go to the top. Thank you. Well, now, you saw, even though I didn't actually, it didn't do damage, but because I did the fire rod, it actually bounced her off the top of the screen, right? So, the one other thing I would say is, keep in mind with this fight, you really don't, damn it, there was something else I wanted to add here really quickly. A great way to that's what I was going to. A great way to practice this fight is just drop in and just walk around in this room. See how long you can make it in the room without dying, right? It's like a bullet hell game, right? Also remember that Moth does 2 hearts and the spikes do 1. If you have to pick something to hit you, spikes are better, right? But just walk around. It's just a good way to practice. It will help you understand how to dodge stuff. It is absolutely correct that you want to keep this fight as short as possible. But if you are on low health and the fight starts to get away from you, having some familiarity with how to deal with dodging all this stuff is really important. If the fight goes off long enough, Moth will aggro and dash at you. If it has gotten to that point, I don't have a whole lot else to say aside from good luck. Try and pay attention. Don't get hit. Survive. But anyway, all right. So moving on. So that is Moth. It is definitely a fight that you need to practice. Just practice that double hit. Honestly, if I could just practice that double hit. If you get really good at the double hit, I bet your success rate on finishing the Moth fight goes up enormously. And then everything else comes from that. So, Ice. Everybody's favorite dungeon, including mine. So this prac hack has already menued to mirror. If not, right, as soon as you... So here's the thing. Don't move. Whether you're menuing to mirror or you're already on mirror, when you leave this dungeon, just hit Y. Do not move. I see players do this all the time. They'll like walk over here. You are on a free quick warp. Do not move. There is no. We talk about some quick warps are hard. This one is not. Just hit Y. You're good, right? So after you menu, we're gonna call the bird, right? So we need to go to the bird. There's a few different ways to do it, but the big thing is it's also totally fine to just stand still, but you are menuing to the bird. The big thing is we're going to go to 4 here, right? There's some small tech around dashing or walking. I'm not really going to get into that. If you're curious, talk to your mentors about like the dashing into the bird and everything. But we're going to go to the flute, and we're fluting to 4. When we land here, you're going to hold down left and walk below these bushes, and then dash, turn up, and dash through them. I've seen, this is especially a rando thing, I've seen some players will dash here to the left. That's not actually faster from the flute landing. It's faster for like a Kaz boot start. But if you're getting dropped here with the bird, just walk here and dash up. It is, and also this is an example of practice your dash turns, because you want to dash turn here. You want to walk left, start your dash, and dash up, right? After you land, the biggest thing, so here's my mental cue, is we're going to go to this next screen, and there's this red guard, and he always aggroes really fast, right? Well, we need to flute. Even if you don't do like Spooky and Mire and stuff, you really want to set up the Spooky here, because it really helps with that Freezor room and the first room in ice. So when we walk up here, as you're leaving this room, I like to remember it as I'm aggroing the guard. I'm going to whistle the flute, and it's going to aggro the guard. The idea here is we want to flute and then leave the screen before the bird gets on the screen. That is going to set the variable that the Fire Rod uses such that it's easier to hit the Freezor at the start of Ice Palace, right? Yes, I think blue, I think that that is my understanding as well. So we're going to flute and then walk up. And by doing that, that gives us a, that fixes that variable and makes it really, really nice and easy in the next room. This screen is kind of tricky. Yeah, the big thing is that what is going to happen, why we call it, we'll get into that, I'm sure, more in Mire. The big thing you need to know is it basically will give you a larger, your splash damage will be more effective. So even if you don't hit the Freezor, you will still actually get the damage and kill it at the start of ice. So when we enter this screen, I like to do, so you're going to do this movement, right? The further right you dash, the less likely you are to get hit. Technically, the slower it is. But what you're trying to do here is really, you are going to be entering this screen, right? Dashing left, and then your cue is basically like the crook of this tree, more or less. Like you want to be kind of like in this V, right? And this is where you dash up. And your goal is, we want to dash up here, menu to mirror, and you want to be just off the, right wall, because that is a quick warp. If you're not comfortable going for it, it's fine. Just dash up. If you can, just do a tiny little bit of movement to the left. Oh, that was nice. Both Hinoxes are throwing bombs to the right. That's classy. After the warp, you want to move down a tiny amount and then dash right. It reduces lag a lot. It's like kind of shocking. If I don't move, you can see how slow I am going through the bushes. Like, you can see how much time I'm losing there, right? If I take just a tiny step down, you can see how much faster that is. There's no, like, it's significantly faster dashing if you go down just a little bit. So, yeah, exactly. So we're going to dash to the right, and then we'll walk down. So let's do this again. Right, so here, left, up. No, that's way too far to the left. Whatever. And I'm just going to take a tiny step down and dash to the right. kill him, and I'm going to walk down to here and dash out to the right again. Walking is also fine. The thing about this second dash is what's nice about it is if the moblin, that other moblin, throws a spear, you can start a dash turn, face left to block the spear, and then dash out to the right. That is pretty advanced movement tech. Like, you have to be really comfortable with your dash turns and moving back and forth. Walking out of there walking is totally fine. Like, just dash to the right here and then walk out. Like that, it's fine. Like, it's fine. Don't stress about it. Here, turn up, dash out. There are two different lines on this screen. The boomer line that I like to use is you dash right, you dash up, and then you dash up here along this like line of bushes. I believe it is very slightly faster, is what I've been told, to walk up so that you are against the wall like that, dash like that, and then dash up and out, like so. Either one works. I think they're very close to each other. I don't think it really matters that much. The biggest thing is you need to be really careful to pay attention to the moblins on this screen, right? Because what you don't want to do is go up here and, like, you can see, like, I did this intentionally. If that moblin had chosen to throw his spear to the left, it would have kind of, or walk to the left, it would be a problem for me where I am right now. Like, if I, like, he could have ruined my day there, right? So you need to, ideally, you need to learn how to, like, cut your dash off so that you're not really in a position to get hit by any of them. But that is the big thing. So pick up this bush, or pick up this rock and hold it. We're going to transition and throw the rock and dash out. I've seen some people do a dash here. I don't think it's good. I think you want to just, when you transition, I think you want to just walk. The big thing is, watch this Ropa. If the Ropa does a really big jump, you have to kind of do a little bit of up movement to get around it. Otherwise, you can just walk straight to the right over it. Right, so when you, like, we're going to here, like there, and then you can dash to the right. This is the lottery dash, right? So I'm walking below this tree, and I'm dashing. Do not nudge on this tree. If you nudge on this tree, it is very bad. You are significantly increasing the risk that you get hit by that Ropa on the right. As long as you get a clean dash, you should get through most of the time. But it costs about it's about 3/4 of a second slower, but it is fine. You walk around this, walk up here, and then dash to the right from there. That is what we call Louis dash. Louis dash loses about 40 frames. It is fine. If you are worried about getting hit, especially considering how scary ice can be, it is fine to do that dash. I did that dash until like 128. It's not bad at all. Up here, throw the rock. From here, you can either dash up or walk up. They're almost the same, and then dash to the right and out. Aha! So that's actually helpful. If that happens, you can actually take your dash further to the right. I didn't adjust properly. But if you get like that bad Octorok RNG, like you can go further to the right and then dash down. Ideally, normally what you're doing is just dashing to the right, dashing down, pick up this rock, and then we're just doing these two dashes out. Just like we talked about with early bomb jump, I'm not going to talk about quick fish. Quick fish saves 20 frames. If you really want to learn those 20 frames, you are welcome to talk to your mentor. It is fun, but it takes a lot of practice, and there is probably a lot of areas where most players will gain more focusing on other stuff. Yeah, exactly. So quick fish is fun. I have no problem if people want to learn it. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on it because it is something that gets into like pixel lineups really tightly, and I want to try and save as much time for the IPBJ. So the regular strat here is you're going to walk up, dash here, cancel with an upright. So you can see I'm like, it should look really clean, right? Like you're doing that, and it's like, oh, cool. I get this like really nice kind of like clean up left. I said right when I meant left again. You're dashing there, up left, right? And then you can pick up that bush and throw that bush if you need a heart, like if you got screwed. Or you can go above it, right? Like this. and you get a free quick hop. So if you keep holding up left, you'll be on an angle, and you can just immediately quick hop, walk above this, throw it in, bonk. I feel like a lot of people do the bonk and don't know why. The bonk is because we are setting up for a free quick warp, right? So cancel with R and L. Do the same thing here. We are getting the Quake Medallion, canceling with R and L, and then we're going to hit Y without moving, right? And this gives us a free quick warp. You can see on the upper left, there's that red QW. That's what that is, right? You can see it's like it goes from, it's off and on. That means I'm on a quick warp pixel. I'm off, I'm on, etc. Right? So it's doing it without moving off the bonk is a free quick warp. Dash to the right, dash up. This is a really interesting. So I want to show this for to everyone. Where you leave this screen, you will re-enter in the same spot no matter where you leave the next screen. So if you watch, so I'm all the way on the left, right? But you can see I entered in the middle. So I'm gonna, dang it. So you can see I'm still on the left side here. If I go all the way over to the left here and I go down, I'm still on the left side. Now watch, I'm gonna go all the way to the right side and I'm gonna go down. And I'm still on the left side. The game stores where you leave this screen, and it does not care where you leave the next screen. So you want to leave this screen a little bit to the left, right? Just because it reduces the movement you have to do after you come back in. So this is, honestly, this is one of my favorite screens to practice. I'm going to do it here. I'm not going to talk about this a lot. Just watch FMG. This is literally just dash lines. There's not like any real tech to it. It's learn where you're supposed to dash, right? You're dashing up right here. You're going up left, dashing here, dashing up. You want to go along this bush, down. Like, that was not bad. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible, except for when I dropped a dash at the end. There's no substitute for practice in learning those lines. The biggest thing there is you want to maximize dashes. In water, so you know how dashing is better than walking, but the amount it's better is depending on how far you go? That actually shrinks when we're walking in shallow water, because walking in shallow water is even more punitive for our walking speed, and you lose more on the regular walking speed than you do on the dash. So it is definitely a thing that yeah, that's true. Just don't fall it. So we're going to just talk to Zora, catch the flippers, dash down, swim. So on this next one, I like to move into the middle here before dashing down again. You don't have to do that. I like it because I think it starts your walking here a little easier. But the big thing, so this is the Jesus dash is what we call it. It's the best named dash in the game. Is you want to be basically lined up. You can see I'm like lined up with this first bubble, and I'm like just above this second bubble. It's fine to be like, you don't want to be any higher than I was, right? Like you can see you start swimming. The problem with this is if you're too high, it will stop your dash. So if you are in the right spot though, right? So like, I think a good cue is like try to get to like the second bubble. You will just dash right along the deep water, right? This is why we call it that, is, you know, to Grid's point. This one is very fun, very cool. So you're dashing out and side. We're going to re-enter the screen on the left. This is the tiny warp screen. This screen is sneakily hard. I really like what I think we call the Louis menu, which is where you're going to re-enter the screen, walk kind of down. Let me get rid of him. You're going to walk down and left, and then once you've cleared it so you can dash along the slope here, we're going to dash, and I'm menuing kind of here. Your goal is, see, he was despawned. You want to see where that Zora is, because that Zora will define, potentially, we actually want to go around the left side. right? So if I do this, and so right now he's in a great spot. He's way out of the way. I can ignore him and just go straight to the warp. Go. All right, that's also really good RNG. I was too far to the left, or too far to the right. What's wrong? Great. So that's an example. And I actually waited too long because we hadn't been getting issues there. So you have a couple options when he's here. Like, you can actually try to go, you know, go below him. Or, like, when he's there, you can actually just slash him. And it's actually good. There's a bomb drop, so the slash is not bad. But your other option, oh boy, is you can dash around to that way. It is pretty good. Dashing to the left is pretty good because it brings you along it's like a better line on this screen. So it's really not that much worse. And if the Zora is blocking you, like see, you can just slash him when he's reachable. Slashing him is fine, because when he's reachable like that, it's a chance to proc a free bomb, and slashing it's not that bad. Yes. Yeah, Sean is right about both the crab and the bomb. That's why, like, slashing there is killing that Zora is good because it's a guaranteed bomb drop. So that's the thing, is if you are either low on bombs because you made a mistake, or alternatively, we still do need a bomb depending on your bomb route. You may still need a bomb from somewhere. It's a great place to get one because it's not that much time loss, and it gets him out of the way. But there are times when the Zora is, dude, I'm just all over the place here with this dash. See, like, that's still slashable, but there are times when that Zora is just like not in a spot that you can get him, and you can just go around, and going around is fine. So don't do that dash. Here, when you pick up this rock, you want to enter from the left side like that. Again, you can see it's a free quick warp, and we're gonna enter. Now, all you need to do is go a little bit up left and just immediately fire rod. You see how the Freezor died. Like, I hit, like, here, and it still killed the Freezor. That's what we're talking about with that spooky, the thing that you do with the flute. That's why we're doing that. It's you. Whoops, I'm still on the. Yeah. Like, you can see it dies so easy. There's the bigger thing for me. It's not that much faster than if you have, like, really, really clean movement and you get him on your first shot, but it's a lot easier. You just don't even really need to think about it. Like, you just walk in a little bit up left, fire rod, and then you're leaving the room. So to me, it's very worth it to make sure that you have that, because again, it doesn't cost you anything to do that flute. So Ice 2. If you have beams, there are a few different ways to do this room. I like, so the movement that I use that I find normalizes this room a lot. You can see as I come out of the door, I hold down left. The reason why I hold down left like that is no matter where that bottom berry is, you will be able to get it with a sword beam. So you're going to hold down left slash twice. And hello? Did I? All right. Anyway, point being that what you really want to have happen there is we are trying to make sure that we get the key drop, and then you can see that I am tapping A as I pick up the key, right? And that changes my momentum. So what you're doing there is I'm holding left here. I switch to down left, and as I get the key, I'm moving my fingers to up right, and I'm tapping A, and I'm switching to up right, because the dash dust stops your momentum. And then because of the way ice physics work, you immediately start going like where your next movement is. So you can see that, like, I grab the key, I hit A, I switch to upright, and then we're out of the room. The other thing you have to be worried about is this berry, this guy here. You saw one of the examples I had there. I fire rodded him because if he moves to block you, So that's actually very bad RNG. That was both of them blocking. That is pretty rare, right? So you can see that the fire rod shot doesn't actually stop your movement on the ice, which is, he wasn't in the way. But so if he gets in your way, you can fire rod him. Your goal is, if you fire rod him, get out of the room before he dies. Because if he dies before you leave the room, you will have to wait for the jingle of the door on the right opening, which is very slow. Right? Now he's being nice. Anyway. The room takes practice, but the big thing is practice that first movement is, in my experience, the easiest way to do that room. This is just a couple of dashes. We're just going to push the block, dash down, up, push the block, dash to the right. So the idea here is that what you want to do in that room is you have your sword out. As you get to the pots, you want to transition from right to down right and then down. And the idea is you want to stop your momentum on the skull there. Grab it. Then the optimal movement recommended is actually to step back up and throw it, because what that does is that keeps the pen gators from potentially blocking you. By switching your direction to up, that will bring the pen gators to go horizontally. Like if you watch, if I do... See, like you can see he's going down. But if I do this... Well, don't do that. Right? Like you can see, because I threw it up, the pen gator's going right. You don't want him to be coming down, because if you get very unlucky, he can hit you out of your dash. So that's why you do that. Yes, so to Sean's point, the thing is, it is important to understand. So we use one fire rod shot on the also we will talk a little bit about what to do here if you have half magic, but for now we will use one fire rod shot on the Freezor. If you use a second fire rod shot, you do not have any more. It doesn't actually really lose you time. There are 2 magic pots right before Cold Stare, and the way in which you get 1 is barely faster than the way in which you get 2, because of the way that the room works. So it's totally fine to use that second fire rod shot if you need to, but don't do too much, right? You can't do any more. So this is a room that if you do 1 bomb, this room is relatively straightforward. So we'll talk about that first. I switch to bombs, I slash. The big thing is, so first off, you really want to make sure you're throwing it where you're partially lined up with this wall, because what you need to have happen is you need the bomb to be in the corner where it will hit the switch, right? The big thing to be aware of is that you need to worry about those berries up at the top, right? So if they are electrocuting like that early, that's actually the best RNG. Because if they're electrocuting early like that, that means that they won't, that first berry won't be electrocuting when you get up there. So like when you enter the room like this, that's good. Like what he's doing right now is good. Because you know that after you go through, drop the bomb, ruin everything by making a mistake like that. But you can see that like when he's electrocuting early like that, you are always going to be safe. Ideally, you have beams. You can see that if you have beams, you can kind of slash him from sort of far away, and the sword beam will hit him. So you don't even risk getting hit by the electrocuting. This room just takes practice, right? The other thing you can do is obviously you can drop 2 bombs. If you're going to do that, if you saw what I did there, I actually hit Y and B on the same frame like that. It drops the bomb as you slash your sword. So it's like that. That allows you to get through. Practice. It is actually worth practicing. So I like to use the pause menu to like look at the top berry. Menu to bombs, drop, and then go around. Don't go too low. If you're doing the 2 bomb strat and you go too low like I did, then you're screwed. But what you really want to watch out for right, is that the earlier, just like with the Hera skull bomb jump, the earlier you drop your bomb, the faster the room will go, right? So like if I get my, so a lot of it's going to be practicing like, and not that, oh god, it's this one, right? Like that was candidly pretty tough RNG, but I didn't handle it very well. But like the sooner you get your bomb down, the better. That's too far left. Yeah. That can happen. That's not the end of the world. We can deal with it in the conveyor room. But, like, if you're going to do that, you can see you want to be on kind of like the bottom half of the orange pegs because you'll get the iframes when the second bomb goes off. It is really important to understand. Also, I don't think you can see it. I am invulnerable right now, but I think because I only streamed at 30 frames a second, it just, there we go. It is really important to understand that the movement around the corner here is actually worth practicing. Like this is, it's not like totally free. Like you can see, like you can just hold up once you clear it, right? So what you really want to be doing is saying like, okay, when am I switching from up to left? Because just walking along here, you can literally just hold up and you'll clear this corner and start moving up left, right? So you need to just learn like, okay, how do I then know when to switch to left? And down you go. Again, if you're doing just one bomb, that's totally fine. Just slash. You want to slash from kind of far to the right because you don't want to risk getting hit by that berry, right? Like you can see, like, you don't want to slash from like below it like that. That ended up working out because I hit him with my sword beam, but like if you don't have sword beams also, you want to be slashing from like kind of far over, right? You can see how far to the right I can be and still hit it. Oh, I'm still on the fire rod. Oops. Point being that like you don't want to risk getting electrocuted. So anyway, moving on. I don't know why I just re-entered this. We'll do it one more time. Okay. This Stalfos room is pretty straightforward, right? You walk up, go through, drop a bomb, walk down to the bottom. The biggest thing is make sure you are against this wall before you tap up and push A to throw. Sure. I mean, I find it good, but if people want to do one bomb and then take care of the, I think one bomb is a lot worse if you don't have beams potentially. I think is the problem. If you have beams, it's not that bad, but if you don't have beams, having to like go up to chase the switch in conveyor can be pretty awkward. But so just for this room, right? What you're doing is you pick up so you land. And you can see that I drop down. This is actually something that I do see some players do, is they will drop down on the left side. You don't want to do that. You want to drop down on the right side of the bombable floor. Even if you're doing two bomb, if you saw it, like just use the pegs to get iframes. You shouldn't be, don't be like, pick it up. You're going to walk up, clear the railing here fully, and then step down and drop the bomb. That the first guy will fall, and then come down here, grab this pot, get down to the bottom, and then throw it up. There's a really interesting component about the way Stalfos Knights work, which is if one of them is crumpled, both become vulnerable. That is why this room works, is that if you miss, so let's say I put that too low, or actually that's not the problem. If I miss this guy, you can see that the top guy also doesn't die. And the reason the top guy didn't die is because the bottom guy wasn't crumpled, which means neither of them are vulnerable. But if I drop the bomb and then I hit this bottom guy with the pot, because I hit the bottom guy with the pot, they are both vulnerable. So that's the big thing. I'm not going to talk about dashing out here. Just walk out. It's fine. So this room, there's like a lot of different things about it. I missed the key. I missed the key. Neat. Right? Like you'll see that a lot where... Why am I not hitting him? I'm missing him. That's cool. Oh, that's... I know. Why? Oh, I was too low. So, you can see that, like, it's very easy. This room is actually sneaky important to get good at. Like, you can lose a lot of time in this room. And I'm actually, frankly, pretty bad at it, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. The big thing to understand about this room is that... so a couple things. One is, if you don't have beams, you just are going to have to, like, come in here, try and avoid that first berry, and chase this guy down. If you don't have beams, there's not a whole lot else you can do, other than just, like... It gets really sketchy because it gives the berries more time to get in bad spots and everything, but it just is what it is. But if you are... I'm stupid. There we go. Perfect. First try. You can use the spikes to line up. So, like, you can see here, I can use those spikes to line up, like a deboost, like through a deboost. This is exactly the line that you will go through, right? If you are perfectly vertically against these spikes. So that's what you will see a lot, is players will deboost there, get lined up on those spikes, and then go through like that. So, like, that would be an example of the room going well. Imagine. If the berries aren't in good position, you might have to slash multiple times. You may not be able to do the dash just because of the positioning or because the shades get in the way. That room just takes practice. I would encourage practicing it. It feels like it's unimportant. It is very easy to lose lots of time in it. And as Sean was saying, you want to... if you did not hit the switch, right, then the switch there will be red. If you have beams, which means you didn't deboost, right? So that's part of it, is you can't do the deboost. If you want to hit this switch, I would strongly recommend not doing the deboost. But you will need to go up and hit it and then come around. So, Ice Palace Bomb Jump. All right, I actually was... it's fine. So, this is what I'm going to do here first. You're going to hold left. You're going to dash dust, walk down. You're going to menu. You're going to get bombed across. So this is what... That is how the room can go with a lot of practice. So there are a few things about that. One is, when you do this, if you hold left entering the room, you are actually not up against... You can see I moved up there. If you hold left while immediately while entering the room, if you look at my vertical pixel, I go from 31 to 30. I'm not up against the top. That is important. It actually changes how some of the pixels work. So I know there are some beginner mentees here. If you are not comfortable with this, I apologize. We are not going to cover non-bomb jump routes. Talk to your mentor if you want to learn a non-bomb jump route, but this is probably the trick that saves the single most amount of time in the run. Doing ice not this way is incredibly slow. So what you really want to understand here is, if you are going to go for the like not using the sword spin, right? So the nice thing about what I will say is if you are going to do a version of this room that gets you up against the top, so again, doing this really slowly and deliberately is still immensely worth it. Like, if you take a minute in this room to get everything lined up, it's still very worth. So if you are like, okay, I'm gonna get it lined up. So you can see that right now I'm against the wall. I'm against the edge there, and there are two little white dots below Link's shoes. Those two little white dots are like, that's how you know you're in a good spot. You can also be one more. What would that be? Perfect. There. This also can work, right? I believe. Yep. Aha. So this is the fun thing. You actually can't face down. I forgot. If you do that, you can't actually face down. So I'm gonna there. Is that right? Yeah. So it's there. There we go. The bomb jump has like some weird properties. If you are up against the top and you are on the further right of the 2 pixels where it works, facing down, you will actually slide off, like you saw. You will slide into the pit like I did. But if you are going to be doing this, like, and it is okay to even be like, I'm gonna just like kind of back into it, right? Like you can see like where I am right now is fine. Like that will work. If you are coming from rando, right? Like the way in which most rando players do it is they will drop the bomb here and they will line up using their sword. Nice second bomb. 1 pixel of space in between the sword, the top of the sword, and the bottom of the bomb. So you'll see like just a little sliver of the floor. That means you're fine. And that will work, right? The reason this is slower is you can see I get bombed across kind of on the right. So you can't do that like hammer dash. You have to pick up these pots, just walk down, and then kind of go through. Yes, something hitbox, pot collision, exactly. If you wait, so here's the interesting thing. So you saw how I was saying like if I hold left immediately. So you can see I'm on 31. If you enter this room and wait for a second, and then hold left, or is it just falling then? No, it's... oh, it's... Sorry, I know what it is. It's after you fall, if you hold left immediately. There we go. So you can see that I'm actually on a different vertical pixel. You need to be really careful if you fall, because if you fall down and re-enter the room immediately, you will actually be higher up, which changes how the bomb jump works. So this is a room that, like, mechanics, doing it as the same way is really important. If you are going to go for that, like, the, like, I'm just, like, walking in the room and immediately dropping the bomb, that's important, but make sure that if you're going to do that, you understand you need to, if you fall, you need to wait until, I think it's until your iframes run out before you re-enter the room, because you can see I'm on 31 again. If I re-enter the room immediately, I would be 1 pixel higher, and that actually changes how the bomb jump works. For the vertical pixels, so the lineup that I like to use is Link's hat. So after you drop the bomb, right? So this is one of the 2 where it will work. You can see like, so on 31, this will work, and right? Nope, I moved up. Let me just re-enter the room. The problem is like I don't usually. There we go. So like this will work, and oh, I moved down, and this will work. In this instance, right? You need to be very careful. What you want ideally is you can see, it's kind of hard because we don't have a good way to like pause it. Well, actually I can just stand there. Where you want to be is you want Link's hat. So I'm at 31 right now, right? So I'm going to drop the bomb here, and then I walk down, and you can see that right now Link's hat is splitting that black line. This is also true if you do the, right? It's one more down. It's one more down from there, right? Like you can see if you're doing that spin setup where you're up against the wall, after I drop the bomb, is that it? Where? Fuck. It's very hard to do. No, I ruined it. It's very hard to do it backwards, right? Right, like you can see where Link's hat is at right now. This is good. Like, it is, like, up against that black line. One of the things that can cause a failure state is if you are doing this strat, right? Like I said, there's 2 pixels here that work. The problem is that if you are on the pixel that is more to the right, you have to be lower than if you were on the pixel that is the further to the left. So like if I'm facing down, right? Like you can see right now, Link's hat is splitting the black line. Here it is touching the black line. I went down 1 pixel. And so when his hat is splitting the black line, it will always work. But when his hat is touching the black line, when you're 1 pixel lower, it will only work if you are on the furthest left. So like if you are here, which is the furthest left that you can be using that like just the walk strat. If I do this and I go to the and I go there, it will work fine. If I'm 1 pixel lower, it will work fine. But if I'm 1 more to the right, it will fail. So anyway, if you are doing this like the version there, you will switch to the hammer dash, and then you saw like you can do the bonk. Otherwise, you may just have to live with just walking it out, especially if you do the one with the, excuse me, this sword. So again, one more time, if we're going to do it with the sword, so this position will work, and the spin will work. The spin is nice because it guarantees you, but you can be fine 1 more over, right? We'll do this. Just make sure you continue to face to the right, and you can see, you can still go through. That should only be relevant if you are just trying to use like a visual lineup. I really, again, just like with the Skullwoods, if possible, I really encourage trying to learn that spin setup. If you can't learn the spin setup, it is okay to learn how to just kind of like get the view, right? So again, this will work, or this will work. Seeing the 2 little white dots, right? Or 1 more to the right. This will work. Drop the bomb. Get your like 1 pixel below. You can also see Link's hat is splitting the middle of the black there, right? That's the other. But remember, the one other thing I'm doing is when I'm entering this screen, I am slashing to the right, and then I am moving up. You really want to make sure you go up against this wall. I know I'm spending a lot of time on this. This is really important. And that gets you through the Ice Palace Bomb Jump. So we're gonna, this room is, you're literally just dashing to the right and walk up. Pen Gator lineup. So I like to do something pretty straightforward, which I am messing up. Thank you. So you can see this little like these quotation marks here. Is what I will do is I will enter the room /down, hold left until Link is at these quotation marks, and then go down left. And that gives you like a good line. I've seen people will sometimes do stuff like this. Also fine. It's slower. It's not a lot slower. The biggest thing is find something that works for you, and then dash out. If you don't slash, like if you don't slash, you can see the knockback on that spike is pretty big, right? So if you slash, it limits the knockback. It just gets you through the room a little faster. You can see it's 7 frames. It's not that big. It's not that big a deal. You also are totally okay to just wait if you're worried about health, right? At the cost of, that's about 2 seconds. So it is like pretty material if you wait. But also 2 seconds is a lot less than the 3 minutes you would have to take to redo this. So it's fine. Thank you, Bobs. So, I'm going to cover 3 things here. One is, so it is possible to do a clip. It is possible to do a clip in this room that I am failing at because, of course, I don't normally go for this anymore because I find it to be like actually kind of sketchy. Because the problem is so it looks like that. and it is faster, but it's not actually that much faster than the next best strat. If you fail that, it can be really punishing, and even if you succeed, you can lose a heart. But the way to do it is slash, slash down, slash left. Your goal is to basically be like this firebar. I love ice physics. Your goal is to basically be moving left with your sword kind of along like this line, and then as you release your spin, you transition from moving left to down left, is the idea. It's like left, down, left. There we go. One more time. Left, down, left. And then as you let go of your spin. So the idea there again, it's as you let go of your spin, you switch from holding left to holding down left. I don't really do that. I used to do that. I don't really do that in that room. Let me actually back up for a second. I'm going to show probably the simplest strat, which is walk down, dash left, slash up like that, and dash out. That takes 5.5 seconds. It is very, very straightforward. It's fine. It loses like barely a second to the best strat. It's totally fine, right? So again, it's walk down, dash left, slash, dash out. So the big thing there is, right, it's down left, dash up. So then I'm going up left and I'm dashing out, right? You don't even really need to do the slash. I do it because kind of habit with the momentum switching. But like you can see here, I'm just not even going to do it. I'm just going to dash left, up, and dash out. It's still almost the same, right? So you're going enter the room. It's down left to clear the fire bar, dash left, up left to get above the stairs, and then just dash through the stairs. Totally fine. If you want to do a faster strat, the hammer, 1, 2, 3, up, and I missed it. So what you can do there is there's a few different varieties of that. Like that dash out is probably the easiest version of it. So what you're doing is you're doing hammer left, hammer down left, up left, and then dash out. It's about a half second faster than just what the first one that I was showing you. So you can see that. That is not that bad with some practice. It's actually pretty good, right? Better than that, if I can get it right. There. Is, so you're doing the same setup, but at the end, instead of using a dash out, you basically kind of like, it's honestly very tricky. I'm just going to say if you want to really learn that, watch FMG. But what you basically have to do is you have to hold down while you slash and then roll from down left to, you roll from like down to down right to stop your momentum and then back to down to walk out. It's like kind of tricky. See, I'm doing it wrong now. But this is in my head. This is what I normally do in runs, but of course, if you miss it, just walk it out, kind of like that. But like you can see, like that, missing like that cost me almost 2 seconds. So it is very, very, very okay. First off, to do this, if you want to learn that, like that is fine. And also if you're doing this is also fine, like totally fine. When you come down here, dash to the right and walk up kind of on the edge. We're going to go in, we're going to fall. I'm not really going to spend a lot of time talking about the block stuff here. There's small optimizations, but it doesn't save that much time. So in this room, there are 2 ways that you want to do this. So you can see I have used this preset has used 2 fire rod shots. If that's the case, pick up this pot, drag this statue until the bottom of the statue is even with the top of the gray square. Go around to the left, pick this pot up, and then just walk down right. That will give you enough space. That is almost as fast as only getting 1 magic. That is why I was talking about it is totally fine to, yes, thank you. It is totally fine to use a second fire rod shot. If you need health, there's an anti-fairy here. This is a very, very good anti-fairy to get if you're worried about cold stare if you have powder. I would not get it if you are... actually, I guess you wouldn't have some right here anyway, so never mind. But anyway, right, come through. If you're going to get 1, right, it's pick this guy up, you pull this until ideally you want to get it. This is the lowest it can be. We joke about this is the smiley face. You see the gray, it has the 2 white dots and then the smile? That's the smiley face. This is the lowest you can do this, and then you can push it to the left. And you're out. Okay? So those are the 2 things that you need. Those are the 2 ways. Honestly, it is totally fine to say I am always just going to do... exactly. It is totally fine to just always do the 2. Because it is not really... It is barely slower. Like, if you're going to do... Like, if you do it this way every time, you're... Like, you are barely losing any time. And it doesn't mean that you don't have to think about how much magic you have. You just do that every time. Okay. So, cold stare. The thing, right? I am not going to go over double poke. If you want to learn double poke, talk to your mentor. Double poke is, in my opinion, a fair amount more difficult than single poke. So first off, cold is another one of those fights that's just practice, practice, practice. But when you are doing cold stare, there's a few things that I always like to focus on. Number 1 is really get good at your fire rod shots. So one thing, dang it, I didn't need to, I set the save state instead of loading. Right, I see a lot of people who will do stuff like this, like cardinal right, and then they'll do like this. This is just very bad. Like, it makes things super sketchy. It's really like, I was doing this with Pichu the other night. I'm too nervous to do it right now because I'll probably screw it up. Well, you know what? Let's try it. I'm gonna try and break the ice with my eyes closed. You should be doing that. You should have a timing that is consistent. Like, the idea here is you should not be, because you should never be dry firing, right? People will mash, and that causes dry fires. And you really want to get it so that you are getting those fire rod shots quickly and cleanly makes this fight much safer. I also don't like that cardinal right movement. Some very good players do it, but in my experience, I find it a lot easier to do this upright into the fire rod shots because you get them done a lot easier. You can see I'm so, like, some people will get hit by this, like that first icicle. I'm like gone. Like, that's what you want to be. You want to be like way the heck up there. You should never be at risk from that first icicle. But again, a lot of this is practice. It's like learning that timing. So that's piece 1. Piece 2, once you break the ice, is you get up here, you slash. There are a few different ways to time. So what I actually did, I don't normally do. That's what like Meowski does a lot. That I like. There are a few different ways you can time it. I just kind of like wait. I sort of know. Like, I have like a mental timing. But you want to wait briefly, and your goal is you're going to have a brief delay, and then you are going to slash, have a brief delay, get just on the like bottom left of him, of the puffs, and then you are going to, and so you don't have to do this just for the poke. We're going to talk about the 6 here in a second, but the big thing is what you really, really, really want to focus on, right? Yes, Sean is saying, fast is safe, fast is good. You want to have like a normalized movement for letting go of the spin. That's the big thing. So I'm going to talk about it for a second, half magic, right? So we're going to do half magic, right? If you have half magic, you want to knock the puffs to the left, not the right. If you knock the puffs to the left, you get better splash damage. Especially because we've done the spooky stuff, right? The same thing we did with the with that Freezor. So the start of the fight is exactly the same, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up here, slash, I go to the right of him and then the bottom. So the idea here is I'm getting up to the wall. The reason we go up to the wall is it causes that icicle to just dissipate when it lands. I'm going to go to the right of the puffs. I'm going to go to the bottom right corner of the puffs, and I'm going to let the slash go, the spin go. And that's going to knock the puffs left, and then we're going to fire rod them to the left. Right? It makes that fight significantly easier if you're using half magic. I'm not going to spend too much time on it there, but just you get this. It's right. It's like up, get around, spin to knock them to the left, and then fire rod them in that direction. Yeah. Yes, you want to kind of like keep them bouncing. And this is the same thing that's true of 6 slash. When you are doing this right here, it's even if you're doing 6 slash, it's you actually don't want to be all the way up at the top, because the problem is if you're all the way up at the top, when you slash, you will knock them down. And then when they're here, they can start going this way, and then the fight gets all squirrely. Ideally, what you are doing is you are hitting them from a little bit down and to the left, which will bounce them up and to the right, right? Which is where you want them to go. You want to keep them corralled in that corner. And you can see that I'm moving to the left. So the other thing I'm doing there is I'm doing slash. I'm stepping to the left each time I slash. Right? So if you're going to do 6 slash, it is slower. It is more dangerous because bad ice RNG can hit you. Based on like timing and everything else, you can get hit. And if you get hit out of that rhythm, the puffs can escape, and then it can get very, very, very dangerous. I am a big fan of learning the poke dash strat. If you're going to do it, it's so same start. Every start should be the same, right? It's let go, slash to the right, get below them. I kind of lost the plot there a bit. But you're going to get up here. You're gonna, so again, you release it, and you can see I'm basically standing in the middle of the cold. This is another thing, is I see a lot of players who are like, when they do this, like I see a lot of players who are like here when they release their spin. You do not need to be that far down or that far left. The reason why that's bad is you have a lot further to get back to the puffs. It is totally okay if you are like, you can see I'm like in the middle of them. Like I am not that far left, I am not that far down, and it still bounces Cold Stare up and to the right. Right? And so with the dash poke strat, after you release the spin, you're going to slash to the right and get it. This takes practice. Like the dash poke hitbox is bigger, so you won't hit him until you tap A. And the idea there is you use the dash poke to knock the puffs into the corner, and then you double spin them and you have one more slash, right? It is worth practicing. Again, there's only so much. Definitely work with your mentor on it, but in my experience, that is probably the best combo of easy and safe. 6 slash is good, but there's no way to remove all of the RNG risk in my experience. So that's pretty much it. I know that we are basically right at time here. I think that was effectively 2 hours on the dot if you take out the intro. So are there any questions? I believe, Pops, keep me honest, we do have a little bit of extra time here if people have questions they'd like to ask. Also, if nobody has questions, I'll let you all go.
Nice job. Yeah, this would be a good time if anyone has questions. Just a few minutes. Thank you, PH.
Yes, Cold Stare is very dangerous. Also, I just talk so much that everyone's like, I have no questions. I don't want to hear him talk anymore anyway. It's totally understandable.
Everyone is still processing the information, probably.
Yeah. It's like, oh god, no more, please. Yeah, okay, dude.
Sean wants to know how you
Yeah,
manage to look so good on camera all the
I,
time.
I see it. Like I said at the start, flattery will get you everywhere. That's all I can say is Sean. Sean knows the way to my heart. Barry Key, if you don't have beams,
All right, there's
yes.
a question from Fernap.
Thank goodness, saving me from myself. I appreciate it. So the first one. Okay. So ideally, this is where you kind of don't have great options. The one that is, in my experience, the best is you just kind of have to suck it up and like grab the. So you actually don't want to do what I did there and kill both of them. That was actually not great because it procced the jingle. But you want to fire. You can either YOLO a slash, right? Like I can say like screw it, I'm gonna, But then if he's electrocuting, you're kind of screwed. And I can do that. Or I think what the common wisdom is you just shoot the fire rod, wait, and then you walk out. And you can see that YOLOing the slash really wasn't significantly worse. Like it was 738 versus this was like you can do that. Like that's fine. There's not like good options here, unfortunately. Okay. That is actually one thing that I will call out. If you get good berry RNG, you can get both of them, like I just did. If they're kind of close together, you can actually get both. That is good. So if you have a chance to kind of like try and fire rod towards the top like that, that's actually a good thing, right? So like again, like there, like you can see that like, oh, like you're able to knock both of them out. That just reduces the chance that you get bad RNG of one of them blocking you. But like there, you can see he was already gone. So if you get like that kind of movement where like the berries are sort of like on the edge there, it's not bad to dash to the right and then sort of like dash along like the right edge there. It can be okay as well. So like that, like I would probably do this in that situation. Like none of it's good, but you don't, because the thing is you don't have any more fire rod shots. You do not have enough, and you don't want to kill them because that will proc the jingle. So even if you have beams, you don't want to like beam them both because A, the beams are kind of slow, and B, then you get the jingle and everything. So no beam sucks. Like that's why it is actually very worth going for hearts at like catfish, right? So like this, what I would say is again, so this bush here is your first shot at a heart. That has a 50-50 heart drop. And then also after the warp, so you can kill these, you can kill the crabs. So like after you come out of the warp, if there's a crab, like there's often a crab that's kind of like right near you, you can, if you're one off, you can like walk to the right and slash him and hope to get a heart drop. Because the time cost on these rooms is probably less than the time cost of not having beams can be nice too. Yeah. Anything else? All right. I'm gonna free everyone. All I can say is thank you all so much for having me on. Pops, as always, thank you for setting this up. But it's been awesome watching everyone to really get better at the game. And anybody has any questions about this, of course, obviously y'all have mentors, but any of us, I'm sure, are always happy to help. And I appreciate all of you hopping in and going on this journey with us. It's been fun.
Thank you, PH. You did a really great job. So, yeah, the bomb jump section is a lot of work. Practice it. Try not to be discouraged. Ask your mentors. If you are struggling in group settings, maybe just do some short one-on-ones because everyone's going to have a unique issue. You never know. So, yeah, just work together. Try to be encouraging. Try not to give up. It's going to take a while. The next race is Saturday, February 28th at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then Moogle Mod will be presenting on Sunday, March 1st, also at 1 p.m. Eastern. And he will be going over Mire and Swamp. So, good luck with your practice this week. We're going to send a raid out to ZeldaSpeedRuns. Thank you.